Okay, let's get started. I wanted to analyze, break down, talk about, criticize the newest No Way Home trailer. I've liked Tom Holland's Spider-Man or MCU Spider-Man or whatever. Mostly the character, but I'll admit... Well, let's start from the beginning, right? Homecoming, I think, was a decent movie. I think it has a few flaws here and there. For just like a random example, like how does a certain character survive an explosion from point blank range? For an example, people who've watched the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. So stuff like that kind of bothered me. Then there was Far From Home, which kind of accentuated those flaws, a few more things. And even though I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, there were some parts I wish they gave maybe a bit more detail on, or kind of justified certain decisions he makes in that film. I think they kind of did it half-assed, if I'm being honest. But in this film, just with that first teaser that came out, or maybe it was the first trailer, I don't know, like this seems to be like the first real trailer, but whatever. That first thing that came out, he asks Doctor Strange to help him out. Obviously, I'm gonna spoil it. I mean, there's no way of getting around this. If you haven't seen Far From Home, the ending of Far From Home, there's no way you can watch this movie. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to spoil Far From Home for you. All right, but at the very end of the movie, it's Peter Parker's identity is revealed, and he goes to Doctor Strange for help, and Doctor Strange says, hey, let's just wipe everyone's memory. And Peter doesn't question the ramifications for this, and Doctor Strange doesn't feel the need to tell him this or warn him until he's in the middle of doing it. So already is like, what?
Our world is about to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone?
What? Come on. Like, this is just common sense things, right? Like, if I wipe their memory of me being Spider-Man, are there other ramifications, the other memories that could be lost due to this? So already not a great feeling. Like, if I had to put a tier chart without even seeing No Way Home, I would go Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home immediately, just from seeing this trailer. They're gonna have to justify a lot of actions from Doctor Strange and Peter to help this make sense at all. But hey, let's just get to the trailer. Oh my god, bring it. Analyzing. Okay, let's do it. Oh my goodness, Dr. Octavius, from Spider-Man 2. He's here with his goopy face. We'll get to that. We've got Green Goblin there. Electro played, I believe, by Jamie Foxx, reprising his role from the greatest Spider-Man film, Amazing Spider-Man 2, with Garfield the cat. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go with the bluish suit. I think they're just trying to go away as much as possible, even with the visuals. No, he's no longer blue, he's yellow, and it's more like a suit thing, it looks like. So you know what, I might have a theory as to why that might be the case, but let's keep going, shall we? Hey, we haven't even really started the trailer. It was like a teaser part to the trailer that was coming out. Okay. Emotional.
Since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal.
Yeah, never got into this whole spider bite thing. It's so funny he brings that up. It's like, ever since I got bitten by that spider, and we've never seen the MCU version of this Peter Parker getting even bitten, or any of his backstory, any of the Uncle Ben stuff. Which, I mean, it's fine, but I'm wondering if that's hinting at us getting a little bit of backstory. I'm wondering if the movie's going to open up with a little background to Peter Parker. I would like that. Like I know it's overdone. We've had Uncle Ben is sick and tired of dying on screen, but it would be nice to see this version and then maybe cut to the future where he's in this huge predicament. It's like, I wish Uncle Ben was here. I wish Tony was here, you know, something like that.
That was when you found out.
So kind of investing a lot into that relationship, even though they've been dating for all of 2 seconds. Like, I get it. It's they're high school kids, fine, whatever. I'm not gonna harp on it too much.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone.
When did he say when you botched that spell?
Got it.
Hold on. Also, another stupid thing he does is like go through the tunnels here. I'm like, I know he has like spider senses and reflexes, but like, I don't know. That I felt that was like unnecessarily dangerous to go towards a speeding train. Unless of course, in the context of the film, he's on the run, so he wants to go underground if like helicopters are chasing him. To be fair, yeah. Okay, coming to Dr.
Spell where
Strange.
you wanted everyone.
When you botch that spell. When Peter botched the spell. Oh, yeah, Dr. Strange is kind of infuriating in this because he kind of guides Peter into doing it, but like he doesn't think to tell Peter like, oh, you know, they're not going to remember anything about you, you know.
Don't forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Okay.
We started getting some visitors.
So obviously Green Goblin, and this is clear it's from the Tobey Maguire film because it's clearly the same grenade, the style of grenade that he used from that film. That's all good.
From every universe.
And then, oh, it looks like he has a new suit here, which is interesting. I had originally thought this was like some sort of Venom version of Spider-Man, but it looks metallic, so it might be just a new suit that he has on. And another thing, if you've seen the Avengers Infinity War trailers, they like to cover up with CGI and digitally replace actors. So every time we see what's it called, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, it's clearly it has the eyes of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We can tell just from this quick screenshot. It might be a digital replacement with either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. I'd imagine Andrew Garfield in this one because he's going up against Electro. So it might be the case that this isn't actually what's in. We're not looking at the final product. They might digitally replace it to give us a little surprise that, you know, which is I find is pretty fine. I don't have anything against that. So, and obviously Doc Ock attacking the same bridge as Green Goblin. It looks like. I don't know how I feel about his face. I get it because like in the film, both Green Goblin and Doc Ock, spoilers, I mean, for like movies from almost 20 years ago, but they're both dead, and obviously Doc Ock redeems himself and turns into a good guy at the very end. And obviously you can't bring back that version of Doc Ock if you want him to, you know, have a fight with Spider-Man. So obviously they're grabbing the one in the middle of Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2.
You're not Peter Parker.
And here's where you know for sure that it's not going to be a digital replacement because it has to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because otherwise that line makes no sense. Like, he doesn't recognize him as Peter. Obviously, it has to be the case that it couldn't have been a digital replacement. So we know Tom Holland's Spider-Man is actually going to fight on the bridge. And that might be the inciting incident, I imagine, in the film where we start seeing them transported to this world.
was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual...
So, I'm not big on this humor. It's like, oh, he has a silly name. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I know. Well, obviously, Spider-Man 2 fans won't appreciate it, but, you know, it's just not that funny. It's like, oh, yeah, he has a silly name, but it's like, I mean, without acknowledging the fact that it's like there's a lot of silly names in the Marvel universe, I think, actually, going back to Infinity War, there was a far better joke regarding the introductions of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. I'm Spider-Man then.
But yeah, this one just comes across like, oh, your name is Otto Octavius. I'm like, I think it's a little weak, but whatever.
There are others out there. We need to send them back.
Need to send them back.
So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
Oh, that's interesting. Spider-Man has the... what the hell does that mean? That's interesting. He has like the Doctor Strange circles going around his arm. So,
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple.
yes, okay. I can find her character, what's it called? Michelle Jones or MJ, whatever. I can find her character to be at point, well, more obnoxious in Homecoming and less so in Far From Home. They kind of pulled it back. But in this exchange, I'm totally on her side. It's like, you didn't explain anything about this. You were just like, yeah, let's just wipe memories. Oh yeah, by the way, while I'm in the middle of doing this dangerous spell thing, I might as well tell you that you know, there are ramifications to this action I'm doing. Anyways, continues to do the spell.
Magic words myself, starting with the word.
This part, not so much. This part's like, whatever. Okay. Another kind of lame humor. I don't know. Like, oh, say please, won't you?
Please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
Yeah, and another like, Scooby-Doo this crap. Like, what the? Oh, no. Yeah, just like personally, I mean, maybe somebody found this funny, but yeah, I just thought it was lame. Whatever, let's move on. I'm saying that black suited metallic Spider-Man is gonna end up being a digital replacement for something. And obviously, I think can't be 100% sure, but we did see swirling winds or dust or whatever, and I'm wondering if that's a certain character. Just keep that in mind. Obviously, we got J. Jonah Jameson back. It would be incredible if they got the one from Tobey Maguire's universe to appear and meet up with this version. That'd be great, just to have them two banter off each other. Just a fun little thing that I think would be cool.
Flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die.
Yeah, clearly again he's using the spider whatever legs, which makes me think this is not a digital replacement. This is actually Tom Holland. Obviously the mask reveal.
Spider-Man. It's their fate. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Yep. So obviously they're working against each other, which is not too bad. I kind of like the idea of you know, like certain ideologies of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man not getting along. They both have their own their own ideas of how things should be resolved. Perfectly fine. And if that were to set up something for the future Avengers, for example, I know the second Avenger films isn't well liked, but it did set up a certain level of tension between characters. Because in the first film, obviously none of them got along, and then the whole thing is about them grouping together and to fight together. But then in Avengers 2, what I liked was like, you know, Tony's just kind of ignoring all the other characters despite him screwing up. And there's some tension between like him and Thor, him and Captain America, just all around not getting along. So I would hope this would set up some tension for whatever next Avengers film comes along. I'm glad they're using Doctor Strange's abilities. Yeah. Obviously, he's in the film. Of course, they're going to use his abilities, but just getting full use out of his character. Already callbacks to the first, like his abilities from the first movie that we didn't see in a while.
They're a danger to our universe.
And it is odd because, like, obviously that isn't the same type of tentacles. Like, there's that red part of it, which makes me think it's like it isn't a perfect mirror of the Tobey Maguire universe. This might be a slightly different universe, coming back or coming into this world. It might not be a perfect 1-to-1 of Spider-Man 2's universe.
You're not gonna take this away from.
Yeah, and he had the little star thing. I like this version of Electro. He clearly has the suit, and this is what makes me think that this also isn't going to be a perfect 1-to-1 with Amazing Spider-Man. They're clearly changing it up with his gear that he has on, and clearly his skin isn't blue or anything like that. So, not going to be a perfect 1-to-1 with any of these universes, but somewhat similar to what we've seen before. And they look to be fighting each other, if anything. Again, more Doctor Strange craziness. Now, this one is the only one that's been 100% faithful, I can say. Because, like, that looks exactly like the suit. His glider looks exactly like the glider. Like, Doc Ock has that, I don't know, modifications done to his tentacles that make it look slightly different. It doesn't make it look like 100%. Like the original, and they, you know, show it right in front of your face to, like, oh yeah, this is different. But this is the only character being brought from another universe that looks to be mostly faithful. So I'm wondering what the angle they're going to take here. So it's really interesting.
While the world tries to make you choose.
So interesting enough, he says that line. It's like he wants it. Let's go back. Actually, let's get back.
You're struggling to have everything you want, while the world tries to make you choose.
So I think that's actually a callback to, again, the first Spider-Man, where you know, some can see it really silly, but you know, it was a moral conundrum that the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was able to escape from, where you have Mary Jane on one end of a rope and like a, what do you call it? Was it a bus full of children on another end, and Green Goblin's holding them one on each side. And he's saying, like, well, you're never gonna know when a crazy maniac is gonna make you choose like this, and lets both of them go. And Spider-Man's able to grab them both. And I'm wondering if this is gonna be an inverse of that, where he's not going to be able to save everyone all at the same time. I'm wondering if that's going to be the heart of the movie, and if that's the case, that'll be really interesting. I mean, it's already pretty flawed with the whole Doctor Strange bit, just like, you know, using magic and not really caring about the I keep using the word ramifications. I don't know, whatever. That's the only word I can think of. Ramifications of his actions. I'm going to use that word a lot, but what's a synonym for that? Whatever. Screw it. Anyways, not thinking about his actions, blah, blah, blah. Let's move on.
This is all.
Hey, you know what? This is so funny. This is like the I think it was like a video of a basketball game, and there's a gorilla walking in the background. I didn't notice the gorilla in the background in the version of this trailer, because what was funny was, yeah, crazy. So in this shot, I definitely noticed Sandman. Like he was like the number one thing, like a focus in the middle of the shot. And I saw his face, and I completely ignored the fact that the Croc is here. I completely didn't even notice he was even there. I noticed Electro. Obviously, he's bright and flashing, and Sandman's here. I wonder if that's. It doesn't look like Thomas Hayden Church, but I mean, it might. I don't know. Anyways, but Croc is here, which is hilarious because I didn't even notice the first time through watching this. That's hilarious.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone.
And still, like, we're most of the way through the trailer, which is interesting, and still no hint of Andrew Garfield, no hint of Tobey Maguire. I don't know why they just don't bite the bullet already on that. Like, everyone already knows. Obviously, you're bringing the villains. Like, what, you're not going to bring the other Spider-Man? Like, whatever. And clearly, Spider-Verse had a huge influence on the making of this film. There's no way. They saw what they did with Spider-Verse, and it's like, well, let's do it with the MCU Spider-Man. Like, why not, right? Bring back... bring back one beloved Spider-Man and one not as much. Maybe a redemption for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but yeah. How did I not notice Croc? That's the second time they showed him. All I'm noticing is these two guys. I completely didn't see him. What's great too, you know what? I'm glad I paused here. This is another case of what I believe is like a digital, not replacement, but just digital removal. Because look at the projection of their jumping. Oh. Yep. I'm pretty sure that the two other Spider-Men are side by side with him, because look where Croc is leaping and look where Electro is leaping, like in completely different directions. Not even going towards Spider-Man right here, like more like he's leaping here and he's just kind of levitating there, kinda. Yeah, like why is Croc just jumping towards nothing, right? And also, I mean, it makes for a cool shot, maybe when all three Spider-Men are in the shot. Let's go back to that, actually. It makes for a good shot, maybe when they're both there. But like, what's Tom Holland gonna do to Sandman? Like, punch right through him and come out of his head the other side? Like, oh, they're right there. He dodged a punch, so fair enough. I'm just gonna say I'm calling it right now, and you know what? I could be completely wrong about this, but I do not believe that they're gonna kill off MJ. I just don't see it happening. Maybe it might. You know what? This might be the very first one of the first action scenes, and they completely kill her off. But I just can't believe it. I just don't think. Like, if I'm being honest, it's for really meta reasons, not because of the actual film itself or anything like that. I just don't think Disney or MCU universe has the guts to do it, if I'm being honest. Like, you can call Amazing Spider-Man 2 as terrible and awful as it is. It had the guts to kill off Gwen Stacy. I just can't see them killing off, and maybe it's because of their ages too. Like, this is obviously the youngest cast they've had, or at least the youngest looking cast in comparison to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And I just don't know how audiences would react to a young girl falling off a building and dying. I mean, I get it. It's similar to what happened in the comics. I just don't believe they would do it for this film. No way. You know what? I was a little hesitant to call it out, but now I'm feeling more strongly about it. I'm 90-ish, 95% sure that won't happen. Like, she'll get a last minute save. One of the other Spider-Men will come in to save her. Maybe Andrew Garfield, which will be like a little bit of a redemption for his character. And I do like the idea of like fighting around the what's it called? Oh my god, the Statue of Liberty. That's a really cool idea, like visually. I think the only comic book hero I can think of is the original X-Men, which does anybody care about that anymore? I thought it was all right. Yeah, maybe just me. At least all three films have their own distinct locations and visuals, and as minute that it might be, as no one might care except me, I like the idea. It's like, oh, we get a different background and location for each film, and I like the idea of that. If this film were to end on Statue of Liberty, it's just nice visuals. Not to say that it's going to be a good movie. I'm already, as I mentioned earlier, this is probably on the low end of this trilogy, just based on the trailer. But we'll see.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
And now this makes me think there's going to be beyond, like they might bring more. That phrasing makes me think they're going to bring more than just the two other Spider-Man and their villains. This makes me think like we're going to have way more coming through. Obviously, I don't know if I want to. You know what? I'm not going to spoil it if people haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen a recent movie concerning certain Spider-Man character, maybe check out the teaser at the end of that film, of that certain Spider-Man movie that came around October. Or not Spider-Man, but a Spider-Man character movie, obviously, if you know what I'm talking about.
December 17th, exclusively in movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Spider Monday. Yeah. I would say, yeah. Let's see. I don't think there's anything left to this. I think we're pretty much good. Yeah, I still have my doubts. I think this film is going to be visually the most exciting out of all three of them, just because there's so much more going on than the other two, especially with the amount of characters. But I don't know if they can juggle that amount of characters. I mean, everyone knows the disaster of Spider-Man 3, and they were trying to juggle three villains. This is going to be juggling a bunch of heroes, a bunch of villains, and Avengers comes to mind as far as like juggling a bunch of characters. I would say like the first Avengers is a perfect example of how to juggle these amount of characters and various characters, and the MCU has a history of handling this. So perhaps, but just that I can't get past Doctor Strange doing the spell and then halfway through going like, any objections? No? Okay, well, it doesn't matter because I'm in the middle of doing this. And it's just like, wasn't this the guy who was like, I'd rather sacrifice Peter and Tony than even use the time stone or even have it open to Thanos? Like, he seems so like closed off in his own world, and like in Infinity War, it gives this idea he like respects magic more now and like doesn't want to mess around with anything. And now he just says, screw it, why not? This movie has to happen somehow, right? Even if it's through a character making a stupid decision like that. So yeah, I'm very apprehensive where they're taking this. Very cautious about it. I feel like this is going to be another Venom 2 Carnage or whatever, where it's a stupid, dumb movie, villains and plot make no sense on how they happen, a whole bunch of coincidences coming together to make this somehow conform to it. But at the same time, you're going to have a lot of fun with the movie. It's going to be visually exciting. It's going to be tons of jokes, lots of laughing, popcorn style film. But very apprehensive, and I'm looking forward to checking. I am looking forward to seeing it and like confirming my suspicions, I suppose. But that'll be it for now.